Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my foundation routine video. This was not requested, but I just wanted to do it because I finally feel like my foundation routine is not perfect, but the way I like it to be. So I figured I'd do this video and then film a makeup tutorial after I do my foundation. So anyway, let's get started. The first thing I do, because I am oily and I'm acne prone, but mainly because I'm oily, I will take an oil blotting sheet and I will just take the oil off the best I can, because I feel like if you start with an oily face that your makeup doesn't last as long, for me at least. Even on my eyes, because my eyes do get very oily, and I feel like if you're putting anything over oil, it's not going to last as long as you want it to. So that is what I do. So the majority of the oil is off my face. Now the next thing I do, I take my Urban Decay B6. It's a prepping spray. It's got vitamins. I just put a little. And then I usually do two primers, one like as an all-over primer, and then another one as like a pore filler, kind of like mattifier in a way. For the last several months, I've really been going with these two, which is the NYX Angel Veil for all over and the Benefit Professional in basically in my T-zone, because that's where my large pores are, here, and here. So those are where I usually put that. But since getting this, the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, I use this as my all over primer, and then I use Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer for my pore filler and my mattifier. And I feel like that way, for me, it works and it helps my makeup, my foundation stay on longer, and that's usually the goal for a lot of people. So I'm just going to put that on. And I do put primer underneath my eyes, because when I didn't, I felt like my concealer didn't stay as well. And then when I started putting it on there, I felt like it made a huge difference. So if you don't already put primer underneath your eye, maybe try it out. See how it works for you. But I love doing it. And I also put primer on my neck, because as you guys can see, and you probably already know if you're a subscriber and you watch my videos on the regular, you'll know that I have acne scarring, so I do put foundation on my neck. Then I kind of give it a second to kind of soak in, just so I'm not, mixing too many products at once while this is trying to settle in. I'm not going in with something else and moving that around. Then I take my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, which smells absolutely amazing. I love this stuff. It has quite a dent in there because I've been using it, obviously. So then I just kind of rub my finger in there. I know that's not the most hygienic thing to do, but anytime I do my makeup or touch my face, I always wash my hands. My hands get washed several times a day because I'm a freak like that. I can't stand my hands feeling dirty or thinking, hey, have I washed my hands recently? If not, I go wash my hands. That's just a habit of mine. So my hands are clean, and this is my product, and I'm not a makeup artist, so I do not use this on anybody else. So basically I just start putting it on where I have issues with pores. And I used to have a nose ring right here. I had my nose pierced when I was like 16. And sometimes when I put foundation on, if I don't focus my primer in there, I feel like it always leaves that hole, so it looks really bad. So I try really hard to make sure that that's covered. And I also forgot to mention, I like to put a pore filling primer here also because I love highlighter, and most highlighters will emphasize the texture on basically wherever you put it. So I like to take the extra step and put a pore filling primer here. And when I started doing that, I noticed that my my highlighter will go on a lot more smoothly, and it won't emphasize as much texture as if I didn't use it there. And then on my chin, as you can see, I have a hole there too. I actually had my labrae done when I was 16. Actually, the same sitting as when I got my nose done. When I was 16, I was originally going to go in and get my nose and my tongue done, but at the time, the piercer said that my tongue was too short. So, anywho, so there's that. I'm going to put this on my forehead. Like right here is like the big area for me for large pores. Now that I have that on, I like to let it soak in to my skin to kind of set there. I don't know exactly how, how much of a difference it makes, but I feel like if I put my primer on and then I immediately go in with my foundation, I feel like I would kind of be mixing the two, and that's not the whole point of a primer. With a primer, you want to make it as like a barrier between your skin and your foundation. Then I'm going to take my beauty blender, which I absolutely love. This is my ride or die right here. I've tried the pure sponges, didn't like them, but this is the only, other than the pure sponges, this is the only sponge that I've tried. I want to try other sponges too because, I just do, because I love makeup and whatever. So once that's had a minute to soak in, I will go in with my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness. What I'll do is I'll dip my beauty blender in there and I'll just wipe off the excess because I'm not using a lot of this. I only use very, very little of this. And basically I just put it on my redness from my acne. And I'm not going like ham with this because it's kind of just like I use it basically as a color corrector for my redness because I don't feel like it gives like a good full coverage, but I feel like it does a good job at neutralizing the redness on my face, whereas my if I just went in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, some of my redness would still be showing through. So I feel like when I do it this way, it helps cover that redness a lot better. At first, when I first got this, I tried to use it as just by itself, and it's pretty, and it does cover to some extent, but I felt like it wasn't enough to where, I felt like it could be good on its own. Maybe for someone who doesn't have acne scarring. And then I go in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation. I love this stuff. I've only ever used 2 foundations. Well, a long time ago I used to use my Neutrogena clear one with the acne medicine in it. But that was a long time ago. But I wanted something, when I started back up on makeup, I wanted something high-end because I was never able to use high-end makeup, couldn't afford it or whatever. So my first foundation that I tried was the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, and I felt like it looked too dry on my face. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't using it right. Maybe the primer I was using was just too matte for my face. Like I said, I do have oily skin, but I do not like a completely matte face. So after that, I was like, you know what? I really want to try Estee Lauder. So I went and got it, and I'm in the color Cool Bone, which is 1C1. And ever since I started using it, I've been in love and haven't really wanted to try other foundations up until recently, when I was kind of just feeling like maybe I should try something new just for the hell of it, So basically, I just take the foundation. I'm full coverage. I love full coverage. So I'm taking the foundation and I'm just putting it kind of focusing it in my problem areas, so the majority of product gets applied in my problem areas. And yeah, and I only put a very little amount on my forehead, because I feel like after I've done that, the Bye Bye Redness, I feel like there's not a whole lot that needs to be covered on my forehead. So then again, I will take my Beauty Blender and I will start on my cheeks. So once that foundation has set in place, I will take, this is no big surprise, my Tarte Shape Tape. Absolutely love it, of course, because it's amazing, and so many other people love it and swear by it. And so I had to, get it and try it. So now I do one eye at a time, basically one section at a time, and then I take the pointed end of my Beauty Blender and I start blending it at the bottom. I focus on the bottom, kind of just to get some product on the Beauty Blender, because I feel like when you already have the Tarte Shape Tape on the Beauty Blender and you start blending, it blends out so much better and so much more seamless. So then I blend it out. So that's how I do it for that. And then of course I let it set too before I even go on with the powder. And then I'm going to do this eye. Another thing that I was doing that wasn't, I was applying way too much at once, because the doe foot applicator for the Tarte Shape Tape, let's be real, it's fucking huge. And when you use that and you don't take some product off of it, you basically apply way too much. So I go in again and just focus here, and then I go up here. So once I got that, I do my chin, and I make sure I take the majority of the product off of the doe foot, and then I just apply just a little bit, because this stuff is really... Then I always use the side that has the Tarte Shape Tape already on it, because I feel like when I wasn't, the Tarte Shape Tape on the rest of my face would not, for some reason it would take off my foundation. So yeah, and then I just do my nose and a little bit on my forehead. Try not to put too much on my forehead, because my forehead has like large, my nose has large pores too, but my forehead is just like, there's, I don't know, something about it that just is so funky. So now that that's done, I will do a powder. I will do my NARS translucent light reflecting setting powder. If you plan on taking flash pictures of yourself, or or you're going somewhere where there's going to be flash photography, I would not suggest this, because like it says, it's light reflecting, so it will have flashback. But I don't, so I don't give a fuck. So basically, before I apply my my powder underneath my eyes, I will blend it out, make sure if there's any creasing that happened during setting, I fix it before I actually put the powder on. So I'll take my powder and I will dip the Tarte Shape Tape side into it, nice, and press it in and just tap it off, because I don't want way too much. And then I'll just go underneath and set it. Basically, I use this to set wherever I put that Tarte Shape Tape. So I do my whole nose, because my nose gets really oily, and my nose it is the first place. Right here and right here is the first place where my pores start to show. And so I want, like, when, you know, when my face starts to get oily, that's where it shows. So now that I have that on, I just let it settle into my skin. We'll give it some time to bake, basically. And at this time, I am done with my beauty blender, and I will take my IT Cosmetics Love Beautifully powder brush. It is the all over powder number 211. It's a big one, and it depends on, okay, say if I want to do something that looks a little bit more natural, I will go in with my MAC mineralized skin finish in the color Light, because it kind of has like a light sheen to it to kind of give the foundation a skin finish, hence the name. But today I want to do more full coverage, just because that's what I prefer most of the time. So I'm going to go in with my MAC Studio Fix powder in the color NW15. And I'm just basically just going to swirl it in there like this and just start applying it. Basically, I put it in the first spots I put are my acne areas to give it more full coverage. Cover the scars in my neck, and basically I'm setting my foundation at the same time. I hate that when I'm doing my neck and I'm talking at the same time and you can hear it. Okay, and then I go the rest of my neck, obviously. I kind of avoid the areas where I put the NARS because it's already set, so there's no sense in putting more. So on my cheekies and over here. Okay. So then once I'm done doing that, I don't apply a super lot amount because, you know, my foundation is already considered full coverage. I just like that little extra, you know. So then once I'm done with that, I will take my Sigma powder brush. It is the Sigma Large Powder F20. And I will just brush away the excess NARS powder. And I know that seems like a lot of powder that I've just done. But if you're oily like me, you want that powder. Because if you just put your liquid foundation on and you just set it, it's going to become oily faster. And you're going to have to blot and powder again. So I feel like when I do the excess powder now, it helps for later. It doesn't get oily as quick. That's just how I like to do it. So at this point, I am done with my foundation. And but once I do, after this, because I'm all powdered up, I will go in with my contour, bronzer, blush, highlight, and then I will take my NYX Dewy Finish, and then I will spray once, look at it, let it dry, fan it, because Nikki Tutorial said that's the best way to do it. So then after I do that, I do a second, just so that the powder, all that powder that I did, will set into the skin and it will look more like skin rather than just powder over top of my skin. So I'm not going to do that on camera today because I don't want this video to be super long. I just wanted you guys to see how I do my foundation routine for my oily, acne-prone skin, how I cover my acne for the best way that I can without applying too much product. Well, too much product for me, in my opinion. So this might be too much product for you, in your opinion, but for me, it is not. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love more subscribers. Hit the subscribe button below and the bell next to it so you can be notified when I upload new videos. I enjoyed seeing you guys today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye! Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I forgot my necklace. Damn it, oh well. And my earrings. Boy, forgetting a lot. How you can see a little bit of redness peeking through this acne pimple, or a lot of yeah, acne. I have this oh my god. I have this Tarte Shape Tape before I go. Oh my god, I got it on my shirt. How the fuck did that happen? See that? Oh well. Change my shirt on, right?